Namaskar. Welcome back to my show Desi Aroma. I'm going to do a quick recipe of onion pakoras today. Taste like a normal onion rings from the US, but much better in taste because of the nice spice and the Indian twist to it. So let's get started. Okay, so here are the ingredients for the onion pakoras. I have about 2 onions which I have sliced, and I've got 1 large jalapeno which is also sliced thinly, and then I've got some lal mirch powder, that's the cayenne pepper powder, and salt, and then I have some carom seeds. Now these carom seeds, I'm just using a pinch of that, and about a half a teaspoon of whole cumin seed. So the recipe is fairly simple on this, and of course I am also going to need some gram flour, which is the basin. So this is going to be used for that. So what I'm going to do is add all these things up, add all the spices in there, salt, and of course the cayenne pepper is as per your taste. And once you do that, just add a little water at a time to make the right batter to it. And I'll show you how to do that, and it goes in the oil to be fried. I've added now the onions and the jalapeno to my pan, to my bowl, and in goes this dry ingredients, the 2 things I had. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to start with, and I'm going to check later on to see if it needs more or less, and then I'll add that. And I'm going to add a little of the red chili powder, and now I'm going to also add the basin powder, which is the gram flour, and I'm going to just put dry on it just like that, and I think it needs another one in there. There we go. And I'm going to just add a little bit of water to this and mix it up. I'm going to add little bit water at a time, so I don't over watery that. I need a kind of a thick batter to it. Okay, so the water I'm going to add is regular tap water, so a little bit at a time, and I'm going to mix it and see, and if I need more I'll add a little more to it. And now, of course, if you feel that you have less basin in it, the gram flour, you can also add that a little bit, and I can right away see that I need a little more of gram flour in it. So you can see the onions literally not having any coat on it, so I'll be needing some more of that. Okay, so what I did was I added 2 more spoonfuls of that gram flour, and as you can see when I'm mixing it, it's getting all dry on me. So now again it needs a little bit of more water, so I'm going to add a little more water to it. And again, excuse me for my one hand cooking here. Camera in one hand and cooking in the other is a little tough to do, but I'll do it somehow. Now once you mix it, now this is what you're looking at. As you can see, you don't have a very thick coat on it, but you have a fairly nice coat on it. So this is what you need. You don't need this to be very, very thick or very, very thin, but this light coat is going to make it perfect. And now I've got my oil, which is also heating up right here. I'm going to add this to the oil. But before I do this, this is something I'm going to do. I'm going to check the salt in it to make sure if the salt is right, and you can check that raw. And see if it needs more salt, just go ahead and add more salt to it. Okay, so I had to add a little extra salt to it because the salt was less. And now my heat on my stove is not high. Actually, it's little less than medium, because this is a thin wok. So I'm going to keep it low so it doesn't burn from the top and stay raw inside. Now the way to pour this is you just take that and just spread it in your pan just like that. It can take some more, and I'm going to just spread it just like this. and in a minute or two I'm going to go ahead and turn it around and shake it a little bit. Okay, here's my second batch, and as you can all see, my oil is now under control on the heat. I have actually increased that a little bit, but because my first one, the oil was heating, it got a little overheated. And as you can see, my first batch is already out, and how nice and crispy this is. You can see the crispiness of that. Beats any onion rings. It's a joint combination of onion rings plus your Indian pakora. And this is going to be another minute or so before I will flip it over. And then, of course, I will flip back and forth a few times, and it should be done. Okay, now this has been frying for about 2 to 3 minutes. And you can see that it's getting crispy on one side. So what I'll do is, and you can see how easy it is to flip it. I just take a fork and then nicely go and flip it the other way. And there it is. See, it's totally flipped on that side. It's going to cook from that other side for another couple of minutes. And then I'm going to flip it maybe for another 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds other side. And it should be done. So this is how it looks. Okay folks, here's the final batch which has come out, and they are nice and crispy, easy to make, and they taste great. So give this a try. Well folks, thank you for watching my show. And as you all see, I just came from the office. I'm still in my office clothes, and I did this recipe so quickly and with one hand, because I was making the pakora from the other hand. So if I can do this in my office clothes with one hand, I'm sure you all can do it very easily too. So give it a try, and thank you again. Bye-bye.